So, Rebecca, how are you doing today?
Great. Very excited.
Very excited. Awesome. I'm excited to talk to you. It was a smooth and quick transaction, 7 days to turn around your escrow.
Yeah, that's probably the best experience I have ever had.
Me too. So, so to tell the audience, I mean, we recently successfully listed and sold your condo in San Francisco. But before we get into all that, you reached out to me from a mailer I had sent you.
Yes.
Had you ever called anyone off of a mailer before, like a pizza place or something? What was that experience like?
No, usually I get tons of junk mail and I go straight to my little mail table. I have a garbage can, recycling can next to it, and I just start throwing what I consider junk, and usually mailers are 100% on that list. I think what's interesting, and I think it's funny because this is very out of character for me, but your mailer caught my eye. I think in my mind, we were already thinking like when the tenants, I had tenants in my unit, and they were getting close to the end of their lease. And my husband and I were trying to figure out like, what do we do after that happens? And each time that happens, there becomes, and this becomes my responsibility, this whole amount of marketing and trying to find a new tenant and making sure that they're the right folks so that would take care of your place as you would treat it. And there was a couple factors happening in my head with where the economy is going, some of where our own personal situation and where we wanted to pivot our strategies. And the idea of going through all that was not exciting to me. And then I saw your flyer. There must have been some headline that literally specifically spoke to me. Something about, do you have a condo in a 3 to 5 building unit? And that was us. So I looked to see who it was addressed to, and it was addressed to me. And then I think I had a thought in my head that it was very brilliant of this agent to scrub all of the addresses in 3 to 5 building units across San Francisco and send them to their address. So I was like, okay, this person knows what they're doing.
So really, it was my like marketing targeting that convinced you that I was the guy for you, because like people, this game is all about trust, right? And people are always selecting like their cousin's brother's mother, I guess that makes them their aunt or something like that, from Los Angeles to list their property in San Francisco. And it's because they trust that person, right? And and it's hard when you're just going out there cold with a mailer to get somebody to trust you. And so I guess the question to you is like, how are you like, okay, Sean, go and like do whatever you want with my condo, and let's leave it up to
for context and for people to know, I actually have been a licensed agent myself, so I know this business. I did it a few years back in multiple states, including California, so I'm very well aware of what it takes to do this job. I am also an extremely loyal person. So I actually have a realtor that I've been working with for 10 years. And being a realtor and knowing how important that relationship, long-term trust is, I usually don't break that. So why did I in this case? As a couple of reasons. One, my realtor actually operates out of the South Bay and in the area
San Jose.
In San Jose-ish kind of area, although they do transactions up and down California. However, my experience, and they actually helped me buy this unit, but my experience with them is I was always leading. They're basically just doing the paperwork for me. And that's great on the buying side because I have a lot more flexibility. I'll go visit open houses. When I find it, I'm just like, help me, kind of close the deal kind of thing. But in this case, I was like, I'm selling. And that's a whole different ball game. And I really wanted somebody who knew what they're doing. That's one. And so your mailer, and by the way, I'm not in marketing, but I have been in marketing positions in corporate situations. And so there's a lot of firing that was going off in my head. This person seems to know what they're doing. This is really interesting. And I actually saved your flyer for months. So it wasn't just I got it and I called you. I saved it, and and actually another flyer of yours came the second time. And I think
hopefully with some new information, interesting information.
It was different. But what was interesting was that you had information about having video marketing, like putting tours on and QR codes. And the tech geek that I am, I realized that you were really on the forefront of using all different type of and more modern type of tools to market a property. So that stuck in my head. And then of course, like where most of your business is, and how you were talking about the 3 to 5 building units. And so I specifically went kind of out of character against everything that I usually would do, because I wanted somebody who could get the job done. And my expectations were extremely high, which I actually have never told you any of this.
Well, let's kind of dive in there, because a little earlier you alluded to, obviously you've been talking about like finding somebody who knew what they were doing. We kind of were hitting the market, right? We talked in April. I was at Coachella when I met you and Frank on the video call, and we talked in April, and the market in March and April was steaming. It was real hot. Interest rates were low, and interest rates were real low. Everybody was buying, and then the Fed starts increasing rates, and things get kind of dicey. Did you feel like we did a good job representing kind of the opportunities as well as the pitfalls, the market as it really is, and helping you understand what's going on?
When we met and we chatted about what our needs were, and then you came back with a proposal, I have to say you went above and beyond, even more than I would do for myself. So
in the proposal?
In the proposal, and even just putting together that proposal and having that plan. So I was extremely impressed. It was a calculated risk, meaning like from a flyer to calling and kind of giving you the shot, giving you the opportunity to kind of like wow me, and you kind of just kept hitting and checking those boxes off. And so after a couple conversations, I felt very comfortable with your strategy and plan. I knew that there was still a risk even with that. There was a very high chance that we would, at best get even under asking our list price. I was well aware of the risks, but I felt like everything in the proposal really was at the highest quality to get us the best offer and the best opportunity for all those things to fall into place. And I have never seen any agent in my entire career be able to do that, or at least have that type of strategy. So yeah, that's kind of why we trusted you. Right.
Well, that means a lot. And, we work really hard on our end to make sure that the proposal is realistic and offers you different opportunities, and, you ultimately get to choose, but we want to make sure that we have everything in there. But the proposal is one thing. I mean, the proposal, I can promise you the star, moon, and the sky, right? But it really comes down to execution. And I think when we were chatting, I said, I'm going to need a week to 2 weeks to get this thing ready. From when the tenants move out, I'm going to need 2 weeks, and we're going to be on market, and it's going to cost this much. And, we're going to do these things. So in terms of, cost management, staging selection, disclosures and all that kind of stuff, do we do okay?
I could not emphasize anymore how low maintenance it was for me. I did not have to come to the city. It takes me an hour to get there. I did not have to babysit it. I did not have to follow up with anybody. Like, you guys just took care of everything and sent me photos. And every single time it was like, I was extremely impressed. I wish I had you for my own house to make my own construction go faster. But the 2 weeks turnaround, I think I asked you several times, like, are you sure this is going to be 2 weeks? Because it was just a crazy quick turnaround time.
And we did the floors, and we did paint, and we did lights,
yes.
and we did staging, and we did,
Yeah. And so it was kind of amazing. And I knew it was amazing. But after the sale was over, I came up to drop off the keys and I did a walkthrough. One, for sentimental reasons, because I'm like, we're letting this go. I just want one more time that I'm in this space. And the staging was still there. And as I was walking through it, my impression was, wow, it looks even better than all the photos online, than the video tour online, than like it was extremely impressive. The place showed so well. And I could see why somebody would want it, because it was cute, it was perfect for how we marketed, and it was right on target. What's interesting is, and I noticed this after the fact, you did a video tour. I think, and I don't know this for a fact, but it's ironic that the buyer that ended up buying our unit, really, like, that video was like speaking literally directly to them.
Exactly, to them. Yeah, that's right.
And of all the people that come through, we had a lot of traffic. Like, what are the chances of that being a coincidence? Like, I just can't stress enough how perfect and aligned every piece of content, artifact, deliverable that went to market this property was really right on the nose. And that's pretty impressive.
Well, I'm so glad to hear you say that, because videos are actually something that's a little bit newer to our repertoire. And you tend to think that, like, pictures can show the place, but you're absolutely right. Pictures either oversell or undersell a place. It's never directly on. And, everything that you're doing, whether it's floor plans or videos or anything else, you're just trying to give somebody a little bit more perspective on what it is that they're going to see. And, the home is one thing, but my approach to video is, the home is within a neighborhood. And if somebody's going to be living there, or, renting it to tenants, or whatever it's going to be, they need to know where they're going to be. And so that's my approach to video making. I always start outside the home in the neighborhood, kind of telling people what's going on. And then we end up in the home with some of the key features of the house.
The link to me on YouTube, and I watched it. A couple things came into my head. One was the whole showing the neighborhood was very impressive. But you ended the video on the back deck that is part of our unit. One, to feature it, but two, to really show something that I don't think is obvious to most folks, is that it is a really nice, quiet, cute place. And you can immediately tell from going from the front in the trolleys, then into the unit, it really, like, featured what seemed like a minor thing in the property. And so everything got featured that really needed to get featured. And it's a small space, but it really highlighted those points. That was the last one. There's several within the video. I was very impressed. I shared it with all my friends and family, and they're like, this. And they're like, why are you selling? It's so nice.
Well, it's so funny, right? Because when the trolley was coming up behind me, I kind of had to, like, yell into the microphone, and I was worried that we had ruined, like, our one shot at glory with the trolley coming up, but it turned out fine. And then when we were on the back deck, I was like, okay, I need to, like, give this an air of romance. I need to just, use, like, a quiet voice and show people how quiet it is back here, because obviously people love a quiet space. So
Sean, it's very impressive, because I professionally have done video production. And so, like, it's not just like, kids on TikTok. Like, I get what goes into this, and you did it in one take. It's very impressive.
High School Musical theater, baby. That's where it all comes from. So I guess the most important thing, and you kind of mentioned this a little bit before, but did we get the price you wanted?
So this is funny. We talked about the price I wanted, and we actually, our strategy was below that. Our listing price was below the price I wanted.
Right.
And I never told you what I really wanted, which was more than that.
The stretch goal.
The stretch goal. I don't think we had a conversation about that. So when you called me with the offer, and you started with that, you started with the number, and then you said a whole bunch of other things. I was laughing.
You're like, shut up, Sean. You had me a hello.
Yeah, that, but I didn't hear anything you said after that because my mind was still processing, excuse me, what? Like, are you serious? So yeah, it was extremely impressive. I think you did a really good job in getting me the highest offer possible, despite everyone around us dropping their prices, because I've been monitoring.
Right.
And despite the market, the inflation going up, the interest rates going up, and the inventory going up, there could not be any more challenges in front of you. And it was as if we were selling ourselves in the height of a seller's market when we really weren't. We just needed one person who would give me the price I wanted. And that's what you delivered on. And I cannot ask for any more.
Well, that's good to hear. We aim to please.
So you better get ready right now for me, because I've been telling my friends and they're all like, can I have his number? I'll add this on top of all of that was going on and your busy schedule and all the clients that you kind of probably service. I had a emergency situation in my own house, in my construction, where I needed a vendor or a fabricator and I could not find one. We went through 5 who all gave me ridiculous bids and or discussed their approach that was not logical at all. And I was totally stalled in my my own construction. And in a desperation, I texted you at some very odd hour. You responded with actually a name and a phone number, he was actually here the other day and are using him. So thank you very much. That's for great. Just being extremely full service and well above and beyond even this transaction.
Well, I listen, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm blushing. This has been, the best client feedback call that I've ever had. So thank you very much. And I'm glad it worked out. I mean, Angelo, the countertop guy, he's an artist. I'm actually staring at my own countertops and backsplash right now, which he put in for me. So he's great. So I guess the only remaining question is, I'm going to put this out through other mailers. I'm going to send this video through a QR code to other people who hopefully enjoy tech in the same way that you do. Anything that you would tell the future version of you that hasn't already been discussed at this point?
I only wish, and I think I've told you this, that you serviced more than San Francisco. So one day when you get big and you have a team, a larger team and all that, I wish you were doing all of my transactions, buying and selling. Frank and I actually not only have our own house, but we have visions of doing more investment property. And it's painful. It's painful to go through this process after experiencing this to then have, the bar has been set. And yeah, so that's a little bit sad for me, but yeah, we'll.
I've got a quality control. That's
yeah, I know, and I understand your reasoning for that, but man, I wish that I could pull. Like, you have set the bar for all other real estate agents that I interact with going forward, and I put myself in that category too because I was one. I know what I did, and I actually did not go through this level of service of all the marketing types. And granted, that was years ago where we didn't have technology, but I don't know that it's a lot of work. I appreciate all the work that you all have done. It really is. I would do it over and over and over 1,000 times over without any hesitation.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. I guess that kind of wraps up this client interview. Thank you so much for spending the time with me.